I would classify myself as pretty religious. I think I am spiritual, and I think about things, and I want to know and understand more. But I also realize religion, in conventional forms, is a box check for a lot of people. There are a lot of stand and sit Christians who know when to follow the pastor and nod and sing, but don't know what any of the things being said or sung actually mean. There are people who attend services all the time who are complete assholes, myself also included. And religion at its base was a tool of control over larger groups of people. For some, it still is that. So I see the limitations. But yes, I'm faithful, and I'm involved in my church and all that. I also realize God does not have a micro-responsibility to you, even though there are people in the world who pray to God for a flat tire and mortgage payments and all that. I also understand that bad things happen in the world even in the presence of God. Tsunamis, miscarriages, crib death, hurricanes, genocide, etc. I get it. I wouldn't really even call infertility a bad thing. It sucks to live through, but in the grand scheme of human problems, it is pretty far down the list. Controversial take to some, but I'd put miscarriage above infertility. Sue me. I got asked twice recently whether going through this makes me less faithful or have any less belief in some kind of different higher power. Let's see if I can answer that. Big answer, no. Bad shit happens to people. Timing isn't always perfect. Life is what happens as you make other plans. More nuanced answer, sometimes. My church does a lot of baptisms and christenings and whatever. Children are the soul of any church, and sometimes you'll see those framed up as a gift from God. I get it, and honestly, I think sometimes that language is in place for the grandparents to soak in. But sometimes I sit through those in the pew and think, gift from God? I'm here every week, and I do stuff, and I ain't got no gift. So sometimes, sure, there are dips in faith, I suppose. I also know maybe 20 guys tied to my church, and half are really good dudes. The other half I only know superficially, or if I know them, I'd put them in the two-pop huckster bucket, meaning they come across as essentially a sperm donor for their wife, and all they do in the presence of their wife and kids is check their work email, or get mad at their wife for something she did that seemed perfectly reasonable. There are, unfortunately, a few two-pop hucksters in the world. I guess I also sometimes feel like maybe God has a different plan for me, whether that's a long way around or something entirely different. And in that way, God would still be working, but it wouldn't be in the standard 2.5 kids, white picket fence. My fence is chain link. Financial services, nope, and a golden retriever. I prefer black dogs. Way. I've heard people say it causes them to lose faith, but it can't really. That's not how the whole God thing works. People die young. People die in floods. People get hit by drunk drivers. Life can suck. That's not all about your faith.